James Ignatowicz, a top-tier pro, loves this shot so much that he developed an entire winning strategy around this shot for mixed doubles games. So when I followed this strategy to a T, I won my first ever gold medal in mixed doubles tournament. If you want to win more mixed doubles games easily, stick around because I'm going to share with you what his winning secret is and how to develop the shot that's key to his strategy. And without further ado, here it is.
Well, I'm ranked number 2 in mixed. Mixed is an easy game. Mixed is very simple. What's hard about it? Pro mixed is very simple. I rip a drive at the girl and then I follow it in. And that's it, so there's not a lot of thinking.
The next 20 seconds of this video is basically the summary of how we won our gold medal and how we executed this strategy over and over again throughout the tournament.
I rip a drive at the girl and then I follow it in. I rip a drive at the girl and then I follow it in. I rip a drive at the girl and then I follow it in. I rip a drive at the girl and then I follow it in. I rip a drive at the girl and then I follow it in. I rip a drive at the girl and then I follow it in. I rip a drive at the girl and then I follow it in. I rip a drive at the girl and then I follow it in.
And of course, it's the drive. Now, unless you have a very strong tennis background, when you're just getting started into pickleball, you may find this shot incredibly difficult to learn. And to execute this shot successfully and consistently in games is even more difficult. A lot of your balls are probably either going out or going down the net, costing you more points than you actually win with this shot. And that is completely understandable because biomechanically the drive is incredibly complex. There are so many parts to this shot and each requiring its own mastery. It takes a combination of good understanding of how this shot works and many repetitions to develop a reliable drive shot. Myself as an example, who has no tennis background whatsoever, I remember struggling with this shot for many months. And when I speak to different people about how to get better at this shot, I get bombarded by all sorts of tips and suggestions. Things like topspin, stances, wrist lag, power, body rotation, follow through, footwork, pronation, kinetic chain, brush up, wrist flick, hitting through 3 balls, eyes on a ball, and many more, which are all probably true and helpful, but there was just a lot of information. And frankly speaking, it was very overwhelming for me. And when I need to focus on that many things during my practice, I often feel like I just wanted to give up. Over the last couple of months, I spent a lot of time analyzing what the top pro players do and have come up with a very simple strategy to improve my own drive shots quickly. And I want to share this strategy with others who might also be struggling just like me. The strategy removes a lot of the unnecessary or nice to have details and focuses only on the bare minimum essential key points to help you start driving the ball consistently. And once you know how to do a basic drive consistently, then you can definitely pick up more advanced tips to further improve your drive shot over time. So I've decided to deconstruct the drive shot into 3 different phases to help me focus on improving one thing at a time. There's the preparation phase, the forward swing, and the point of contact. The preparation phase is extremely important as it sets up the foundation for the next 2 phases. If you mess up here, you'll have a hard time later on. So let me start with the space creation. You want to try and move your body as soon as you're able to predict where the ball is roughly going to land. Then position yourself such that you have enough distance between your torso and your elbow. There's no hard and fast rule on what would be considered as the perfect amount of space because it all depends on each incoming ball. A good idea is to aim to have a gap at least the size of a pickleball between your bicep and your torso. If the point of contact for the ball is too close to your body, you will likely jam your arm against your body as you try to head through the ball. It will stop you from using good biomechanics to make a good hit. Then there's the backswing. I see a lot of newer pickleball players who don't have much tennis background have the tendency of doing space creation and backswing sequentially. What I mean by that is they first move their body to get to the ball, and during this the entire time, their paddle is either hanging down below their waist or kept in the ready position in front of their chest. Once they finally get to the ball, then they start their backswing. Instead, try to start your backswing at the same time or right after you start moving your body. So by the time you get to the ball, your backswing is already done and you're fully ready to just make that forward swing to hit the ball. It gives you way more time to prepare for the shot. Watch how Annalie Waters and Andre Dascu both demonstrated this to perfection. And of course, how big your backswing is does impact on how soon you need to start your backswing. The bigger the backswing, the more time you will need. The goal here is to make sure by the time you get to the ball, you should have completed your backswing. Because pickleball doesn't bounce as much when compared to tennis, you definitely want to get your body low a lot of the time, because most of the time, you're going to be hitting the ball at a height that's somewhere between your knee and your waist. Unlike in tennis, where the ground strokes are mostly hit between waist and above, so definitely get used to bending your knees more. Now let's talk about the next phase, the forward swing. Once you establish a good body position and ready to hit the ball, this is where timing becomes absolutely critical. Depending on how fast your swing is and how long your swing path is, exactly when you should start your forward swing may be different for each person. Also, this may change slightly from shot to shot depending on each incoming ball. Unfortunately, this is the part that you really just need to go out there and get thousands of reps and develop a feel for what the right timing is for your own swing. However, I do have some good news on this. After analyzing many drives done by many different pro players, I have found something in common with their timings on the forward swing that can help you speed up the learning curve. And before I share with you my finding, I just want to thank you for taking your time to watch this video. If you found this video helpful so far, it would really help me out if you could support me by liking this video and subscribe to this channel for more contents like this in the future. And remember to grab your discount code from the description down below. It's another good way to support me and my family along this pickleball journey. Okay, back to the swing timing. What I noticed is that when the pros are driving in their most comfortable positions, they typically start the forward swing right before the ball peaks, and the paddle makes contact with the ball either at the peak or right after the peak. And I think this makes a lot of sense because this window around the peak is where the height of the ball changes by the smallest amount with respect to time, giving players the easiest opportunity to time their swing and hit the ball accurately with their paddles. So if you're just like me who's currently working on developing a reliable drive shot, it may not be a bad idea to use this as your starting reference. For each ball that you hit, try to focus on timing the start of your forward swing right before the ball reaches the peak. Then over time, fine-tune this timing to work best for your swing. Even though the exact timing may change a little bit from shot to shot depending on each incoming ball, but I do recommend using this as your default timing. The other important thing to note here is that as you make your swing, you want to make sure you also rotate your hips as well. By doing so, you'll get some additional power with your drive quite easily. In a perfect world, you would start the rotation of your hips before you swing your arm to generate even more power, but this may not be possible to execute all the time. In my opinion, even a small hip rotation together with the arm swing would give you enough power for pickleball. Dylan Frazier and Jack Sock are two great examples of this. Just remember, the pickleball court is only 44 feet long. If you want to keep the ball in, you can only hit the ball with so much pace and power. And finally, the point of contact. This is where your paddle meets the ball. Firstly, the point of contact should be in front of your body. Depending on each incoming ball and what your natural swing looks like, you can either have your elbow bent or straight as you make contact with the ball. The most important thing to keep in mind is that your arm should not be touching your torso at the point of contact. If you find your arm always touching your torso when hitting the ball, then perhaps pay attention to creating more space between you and the ball during the preparation phase. Another helpful thing you can do is to make sure that your dominant shoulder is leading your non-dominant shoulder at the moment of contact. And by doing so, you're also making sure that you're rotating your body properly and not just using your arm during the swing. And once you make contact with the ball, just let your paddle naturally swing through. If you find yourself getting driven at a lot during your games, and you lose a lot of points because of that, a lot of the time it's actually because your return of serve is poor. And I have a full video on return of serve to help you get better at returning other people's serves. I think you find it very useful. It's also one of the most popular videos that I've posted recently, so definitely go check it out. In my next video, I'll break down frame by frame the drive shot of my own and my mixed doubles partner Katie, and I'll reveal to you why our drives are inconsistent and what exact changes we've made to transform our drives. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on what we did. This is Super Duper Pickleball. Thank you kindly for your attention.